mind. Will somebody fucking write it down? Anyway, so we get over to the section. Everybody's sitting, and now we're going down to get some alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, the first wave of you people. I was sitting upstairs still.
No, you were down with me because you went down first.
No, because Jackie and Steve came up with their beers first.
Well, Jackie and Steve came up with their beers. I was with you.
Yes.
You were like, do you want a beer? I'll go get you a beer. And then you went down, and then Eddie forgot his wallet.
Yes, I saw him.
So he's like, you got to come down and you got to get me a beer because I don't have a wallet. They won't give it to me without my ID. So now I got to go all the way fucking downstairs. And now while I was up there, Jackie had handed me one of her beers. And she's like, oh, just take this one. And when, whoever comes up with your beer, you give it back to me. So now I go down there and Ed takes my beer out of my hand. He's like, oh, well, you got to wait in line anyway. So I'll just take this beer.
Oh.
So I took 2 sips out of the fucking beer. And then while I'm in line you're in line and Jackie's calling me and she's telling me, the usher just came over and told us that we're sitting in an alcohol-free section and everybody with alcohol has to leave. And then our other friend is in the background yelling, we're waiting for you to tell us what to do. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean you're waiting for me to tell you what to do? Throw the beer out or come down here and drink it. Those are your options. What else do you want me to tell you? Are you going to go to
management and fix this? Let's go. Tell me what I got to do. Is this guy for real?
So before I buy the beer, I'm like, I guess I don't need to buy the beer now so now I have no fucking beer. And now I'm going back upstairs to quote unquote deal with it. Like what would you and to let me
read the sign to you. Is that what it is?
To remind everybody that may have not listened last week or it was the week before, whatever it was a nearly sold out game.
By the way,
never happens.
By the way, the stadium was like 75% full. There was a bunch of seats.
Well, I guess it was like sold out where there wasn't 35 seats all together other than in that fucking section.
Imagine this. So we were downstairs. I forgot who said it to me. But they were like, we should all just get up and go in those blue sections. There was like a whole set of like blue bleachers or something. I'm like, yeah, good luck. Go tell Christina that you think all 35 people should get up and move over there to the other side of the stadium. Let me know how that goes, okay?
Yes. So there I sat, and I was watched the whole fucking game while everybody was downstairs having a grand old time, drinking. Every once in a while, I would see somebody's head pick up. Oh, are my kids there? Yeah, 1, 2. Okay, everyone's kind of bye.
So did that.
And then I think Tim came up at one point. He's like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm fucking sitting. What the fuck does it look like I'm doing? He's like, oh, well, why are you up here? So I waved my hand behind me like this. I'm like, I'm watching fucking everybody's children. So he's like, oh, well, the moms are right there. They'll watch them. I'm like, the two of them haven't shut up for 2 seconds. He's pointing to your mom and my mom. Yeah. I'm like, they haven't shut up for 2 seconds. They haven't turned around in about 3 hours. They're not watching any of these children here. So he was like, okay, bye. I was like, yeah, fuck you, bye. Oh, God. I was like, awesome. I feel great. Fucking can't have alcohol, so bye. So it was me and my other friend who was not drinking. Maybe that was fine. We hung out. We were able to catch up. And then also, I couldn't leave because Logan had friends there from school. And they each had
parents there?
No, they had a parent there. But it was like, what was it? What was I supposed to? I already felt like
you got this.
Hey, I know we don't know each other that great, but if you could watch all these kids on top of your kids, that would be fantastic. Oh, my God.
We're sounding very Guido this episode.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. So then I saw our other friend in Target the other day. She's like, oh, I had such a great time at the birthday party. And
you obviously don't drink.
She's like, I had such a great time at the birthday party. No, she was one of the ones down there with you.
Oh.
And she's like, oh, did you have a good time? I'm like, yeah, I had a fucking great time watching all your fucking kids. It was a fucking blast. Thanks for coming. Oh my god.
Wait, so I have to ask, were they good?
I mean, they were not bad. They were kids. They're not really particularly interested in the game. But overall, I mean, I put them in their place a couple times, but
it was funny.
Everybody survived.
The one time I came upstairs, I was like, "Oh, the fireworks are."
Oh yeah,
perfect.
Thanks for coming back 7 hours later to watch the fireworks. Oh god.
So that made it perfect timing. I sat down, watched the fireworks, and then we all left.
Like, okay, we gotta go. Bye.
It was fantastic. Well, it all started off with for us when we went downstairs to get a beer, and then we heard we couldn't go back upstairs with the beers, so I couldn't go back upstairs. I had these beers to drink. I mean, I couldn't go.
Oh gosh.
Plus, too, it didn't help that. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I'll finish. I just remembered something else that pissed me off that night.
I was the designated driver when we went to Compass Rose for the other birthday party. So this was my night to hang out and have a good time, and Tim was going to be the designated driver. So I had I purchased the 2 beers. I think maybe even before I knew that, but and I was like, I can't go upstairs. So, but as we're downstairs, we start off the night with. Tim brings me, he's like, I want to show you these hats I want to buy. And I'm like, okay. So we go in there, and he's like, which one do you think I should get? And I'm like, I like this one. He's like, all right. I'm like, all right, get it. He's like, no, not right now. I'm like, and I don't know why I said this, but I looked at him, and I was like, well, it's either now or never. So he looks at me.
Never come back in here
and
again.
I think in my mind, I'm thinking, if you're going to wait till the end of the game, it's going to be a madhouse. Like, I want to just leave. When the game is over, I want to go. Like, I don't want to sit around and wait online for you to buy your hat.
I remember when we used to go to like the Yankee game with my dad, like we would have to leave at like the 6th inning because we had to beat all the traffic. It was like, what the fuck are we coming for?
Yeah.
We're not even watching the fucking game. Sorry, go ahead.
It's true. But like, so he looks at me in like disgust. He's like, that's the rudest thing that's the rudest thing you could say. I'm like, you think that's rude? And I said that to him too at one point.
Do you even know me?
Yeah. I got so annoyed that he was like, said that. And I was just like, you really think that's the rudest thing? I'll give you rude. You want rude? I'll give you rude. So thankfully we got over it, but we had a little like hissy fit between me and him for like the first like half hour. Like we're all pissed off at each other. But thankfully we got past it. Over that. Yes.
Too funny. And then I knew Ed was like trying to feel me out, like if I was annoyed at him, because he was hanging out.
I was going to say, did he ever go upstairs?
He was hanging out downstairs too. So like 3 hours in, I get a text, I love you. Which is his way of like feeling me out.
Yeah.
Is she annoyed at me that I haven't shown my face?
And it was so funny because at one point someone was like, well, we're at the bottom of the stairs. I mean, if a kid comes down, we're going to see him, you know? Like, good point. I like this. I feel better.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, girl. But
it's okay. Whatever.
We had a really good
I'm so glad that all of you motherfuckers had a great fucking time.
We did. We had an awesome time.
What the fuck? Oh, so then, okay. So then when I originally had ordered the tickets, I said, I'm like, it's my son's birthday. Like, do you have to actually have the birthday party there? Or like, can you guys put his name? They're like, oh no, it's no problem. Just go to behind the home plate, customer service. They'll, give them your information when you get there and they'll put it up. So I went to behind the home plate and they were like, yeah, we could put his name up. It's $5. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I'll pay the fucking $5. Not the end of the world. They, whatever. He'll be excited to see his name. So they're like, it'll be at they're like, what's his name? So I'm like, Logan.
Yeah.
And that was all they asked. I was like, I've never paid attention at the birthday part, I guess. At the top of the 6th, I've never paid attention to what's happening. Because she's like, okay, well, at the top of the 6th, they'll be announcing all of the birthdays and stuff like that. So the top of the 6th comes. And now one of the kids that we were with, she's asking me to get the mud cat, which is the character or whatever the theme. What is the word I'm searching
like
for
the catfish?
here?
Is
It's a catfish, but it's like what is
Muddy the Mudcat?
I know, but what is the?
We're playing charades.
2
words,
not the
one
logo.
syllable.
The
Mudcats.
character.
He's a catfish.
I know he's a fucking catfish. But what is the
the
mascot?
Mascot.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
That is
okay.
right. Mascot.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's
sorry.
They wanted to get the mascot's fucking signature. It naturally falls at whatever the time they're going to be doing this.
Bitch, leave me alone. It's the top of the
So now I'm texting my friend who was also sitting up there with me, and my mom. Can you get a picture of the screen for that they have Logan's name up there or whatever? So now I see they're announcing all of the birthdays. Susie Johnson, 6 years old, and the picture, and the Betsy fucking Smith, 8 years old, and like
a picture,
like the confetti picture, and they're announcing like the fucking first names and the last names and the ages, and I'm like, they're announcing, and finally they're like, and Logan.
Happy birthday, Logan.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
That woman failed. She should have said first, last name. All right, how old is he?
I don't know that's the information that they need. So I happen to be at the same place that I gave the fuking information is where the stupid Mudcat is giving the signatures. And the woman
Listen to your buddy.
The woman. I was like, grab by his whiskers. Or whatever the little tentacle things outside.
You're going to go upstairs and you're going to shake my son's hand. Wish him happy birthday personally. I'm appalled.
I see the woman and I was like, why didn't you ask me for, I'm like, everybody said name that was announced. There was a first name, there was a last name, there was an age. I'm like, you didn't ask me for any of that information.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh yeah, you could have given that to us. I'm like, I've never done this before.
Yeah.
That should be your job.
Like, you took $5 from me.
Right, you charged me $5. The kid, like, just the only one like that didn't have a fucking last name and an age. Like, you didn't. It didn't occur to you, like,
yes,
hey, lady, would you also like to include your child's last name and fucking age? But could you imagine them trying to pronounce Resin Pollock?
That would be really funny.
But still, I was pissed. Like, I was already pissed about all the other fucking things. Like, they didn't tell me that we were sitting in, like, I called, like, you'd think that would have been something that they would have said when I called. Like, hey, by the way, just a quick fun fact. Yeah. This is the one alcohol-free section that we have in the entire theater. Theater? Is it a theater? Stadium?
No, stadium.
Whatever the fuck it's called. So, needless to say.
It's funny when people used to say, my maiden name, it sounded like they were having, like, a stroke. Kukuro. Because it's Kukuro, but it's spelled Cucuro, and they would be like Kukuro. I would have loved to hear how they would have said your last name, but then again, I wouldn't have heard anything because I was downstairs.
Awesome. It was so wonderful hanging out with all of you guys tonight. I was so looking forward to talking to you all. Oh, gosh. All right. We ready to do this WTF thing?
Let's do it.
What the
fuck did you just
What the
do?
fuck did I just see?
What the fuck did you just say to me?
All right, Diane, what had you saying? What the fuck?
All right. Just when you think, I have almost going to be 6 and 8 year old. Did I say that right? Yeah, I'm not used to it still. 6 and 8. You think you have this shit down, right? I mean, like common shit, like how to wipe an ass, how to give a bath. How about when your kid gets sick, how to treat him, right?
Right.
Well, over the weekend, and again, that's why I'm thinking maybe my throat is just sore, just from, just nonstop going the past 5 days. My oldest, Liam, he's been all junked up since Friday. And it's just been
congested, nasal congestion.
Yeah, totally congested, and that's it. Nothing else. No fever, no nothing. And it's only one nostril he complains about. And when I get allergies, that's what happens. It's one whole nostril that is clogged up and the other one's not. But it's annoying,
Right.
Thankfully, though, you can still smell your food. you can still taste your food, but you have to smell it to taste it, right? Because I do have to say, on a side note, that's the one thing about being sick that I hate. Not being able to taste your food. That is like torture.
Uh-huh.